Well, welcome back to the KAK Mid-Morning Show. My name is Aida Muzati, and as I had mentioned earlier on today, the world marks World AIDS Day. Definitely, we are going to help in creating awareness about HIV and AIDS. Earlier on, we've just been able to understand and get to see of how the numbers look, that is worldwide, as well as in Kenya, that is according to the National AIDS Control Council. And as I promised, we will just delve further and get to understand of everything, as well as the number that I had mentioned earlier on. And in studio, I'm definitely being joined by, that is Stella Nyambura, who is a person living with HIV, as well as an advocate of HIV awareness. Nyambura, welcome. Thank you so much. Yes. Now, just help us in understanding of the importance of just marking or celebrating World AIDS Day.
For me, I celebrate it because I have come from far, and this day makes me to remember how far I have come from, because it has not been an easy journey. For me, because when my parents died, they left me all alone, and I remember this day and I put it precious in my life. Yes.
Okay. Now, just talking over probably your parents, just share with us your journey living with HIV, probably when you were diagnosed with HIV. Was it when you were born, or how exactly does the journey go?
My parents died when I was at age of 2 years old. I had a sister she is older than I am, and after she died, I was relocated to we were living at up country, but I was relocated to Mlango Kubwa, and there the life was not on favor on my side, so they started fighting. This side of my mom, they wanted to leave me. The other side wanted to have me. So it was a chaos. So it reached to a point. It was a case, and the case decided that where I want to live is where I will live. So I was relocated to the other side of my dad's family. There I stayed with them for a couple of years, and I joined school in 1999. I was born in 1989. So through that journey, I was experiencing opportunistic diseases, tuberculosis, on and off, skin rashes. No one was knowing what was happening. So when I reached in class 6, that's the time that I was taken to Germany doctors. It is in Mathare, called a place called Muradi. There I was diagnosed HIV positive, and that really broke my heart. From my education, everything slumbered. Yes.
Okay, now were you told that probably you got it earlier on due to the opportunistic diseases that you're talking about, or?
I was born HIV positive. Yes.
Okay. And now when you're just comparing to the 90s or 2000s and currently, that is almost 20 or 20 something years down the line. Right now, I'll say probably the public have a better understanding of HIV. I won't say the stigma has reduced, but I'll say that there are some steps that have been made. Just when you were diagnosed, that is in 2000s, yeah? In 2002, yes. How was it for you in just being told that you are HIV positive? How was it for you?
When I was diagnosed, the doctor that diagnosed me, I think he was not informed on how to pass the message or the test. He told me, I still remember up to date, he told me that unajua ile ugonjwa inaitwa ukimwi, you have it. So it irritates my mind up to date, because sick accept, because that time HIV was all over. Like when you see somebody thin on HIV, you are going to die tomorrow, you have no future, you have nothing at all in your life, you're just hopeless. So it really pulled me down to an extent that I could not focus even with my education. So I had to go through a lot of opportunistic diseases, as I have said earlier. Yes.
And now, were you put on drugs immediately? And did you first of all understand that I'll be taking these drugs probably for the rest of my life? Were there thoughts in your head that I'll die next, as the society definitely was putting it?
When the information came about me being HIV, I thought that was the end. I never knew about ARVs. I knew about death. That's the only thing that ran in my mind by then. Yes.
And when did you start now taking the ARVs?
Before taking ARVs, there is a procedure. You're being tested on your viral load, and years back we were tested on viral load, but nowadays we are not being tested on viral load. We are tested on our virus. No, kitambo we were tested on CD4, but now we are tested on viral load. So kitambo, my CD4 before I started the medicine, it was 3. 3 CD4.
That is the virus in the body, or what exactly is CD4?
They are the CD4. They are the like the white blood cells, the things that fight diseases in your body. So they were lesser in my body. I remained with only 3, and I was about to die. Yes. So they did the CD4, and the CD4, the result came out, and they said that I should be put on treatment immediately. So I started treatment on 2003, and I did not respond well to the medicine because when ARVs came by then, it was like a testing. They never knew what was right for this kind of person or this kind of virus. So it did not respond well in me. Yes.
And at that time, were you still having the tuberculosis and the other opportunistic diseases?
Tuberculosis have run into me like 6 times, and I still managed to pull out. Yes.
Okay, and how would you say the journey has been? I mean, looking at 2002, there was, as you put it, even the doctors did not probably understand, even the doctor breaking the news to you and just telling you that you are HIV positive. How has the journey been, and how can you compare now and then in terms of awareness and even the stigma?
Well, for now I can say it is, people has grown, people are educated, people has been informed out there, society, community, in the facilities, people have been engaged, different platforms on what is HIV is, what can you do when you have HIV, and how to deal with people living with HIV. So I can say it's a great improvement in our society, because even when you hear somebody or someone has HIV, don't panic. Just tell them there is life before HIV, and that continues as well. Yes.
Okay, and just talking of people are now more aware, people now understand this disease well, or this virus well. Would you say that just looking at the statistics, the numbers are really increasing, especially among adolescents? Will you say that people no longer fear the disease, and should they, in terms of just being infected, are people now probably having protected sex so that they are just prevented from acquiring the virus? Or are people just careless, let it happen?
For that I can clarify. As you can see, there are young people that are being infected or are getting early teenage pregnancies. This is, I can put the blame on government, because before we were going to schools and teaching them on safety on sex, because there is no, you can tell me to stop doing sex and yet I'm sexual active. You see, so tell me don't do sex. What should I do then if I'm not doing sex? What that activity will you engage me with for me not to reason like a person who has that urge of doing sex? government threw that away. You see, like we live in slums. Government or people who are up there, their children are well being taken of care.
They are not in the slums.
Yeah, yeah, not in slums. So you cannot compare those children and these children in slum area. Like for me, I grew in slum. Where I was living, next door there was selling changa. There were bangis and sort of drugs were there. But if I could not have listened to what I was being told, I could have got lost. But not everybody is me. Is right?
Yeah.
Some people need action,
Yeah.
not the word of mouth. Need to be taught, and this is the way to go. So you come to school or to the media, you say no more sex studies in school. How have you helped the children? Where have you left them? They are being left like orphans. There are no people to rely on. You find in slums, some of them do sex because they need to do their routine life. They need to buy pads. No one to cater for them. They need to feed themselves. I've told you I was an orphan. My relative never took care of me. So in some other cases, and I'm not encouraging them to do so. That was what's going on in the society. We do sex in exchange of something, and we never mind if you're getting HIV. Nowadays there is says it is better to get HIV than pregnant. Yes, so that blame is on government. If they could have brought that thing and start, we could not be where we are today. Yes.
So it's just an issue of bringing back sexual and reproductive education in schools.
Yes, and engaging the young people on how to use condoms, because we are sexual active, right? There is no way you cannot tell people not to do that, not to do this. It's just control them on what to do, on how safety they can do, not to engage with early pregnancies and to get HIV and AIDS. Yes. Okay,
and just talking of that particular phrase that I'll rather be pregnant than the issue of pregnancy and HIV, will you say that people nowadays actually before even engaging with a partner, before having a relationship with whatever type of relationship with a partner, is HIV even a concern for them, that I want to know the HIV status of my partner, or people are no longer concerned about that?
Uko mali tunaishi kwa ghetto, hakuna venye utaambia msee ati uko na HIV ya kubali. Hata kwambia when umebeba hivyo huwezi kuwa na HIV. So there is those misconception, like when I'm thin, I'm HIV. When I'm fat, I'm okay. So that's what rings on their mind. And before you knew that, umesambazia wengi. Unaona? So when they get informed on how to do safe sex, this will not happen. Yes.
How about testing?
Testing, they do test. They turn out to be negative, nor positive. I like them because when they get positive, they come to you. Wanakwambia like ni hard atanzaje, but you see, like somebody for me, nimekuwa kwa you field for so many years, like I think 13 years. So when you give the story, she sees like, or he sees like he's not alone, and start pulling up. The best thing to do is to get informed. Informed, and adhering to what you're being told out there, with a peer mentor, with a physician, a doctor, or a person who has been engaged to that circle and has pulled out. Yes.
Okay. Now, you were just explaining and educating us about the CD4, about the viral load and all that, So the video that we just played, that is for Doreen Mora. She was just trying to explain to us what U equals U, what exactly it means, as well as viral load. You've mentioned of how probably the testing was done earlier on with the ARVs. Just try and help us understand, first of all, U equals U with a layman's language inamaanisha nini?
U is equals to undetectable is equals to untransmittable. That comes when you let me use Kiswahili. Hii inakuja wakati unazingatia matibabu yako vile inavyopaswa. Like usipokosea kwa ule muda, unazingatia tu, utajipata uko undetectable. That's why nilikwambia pale tulikuwa tunapima kitu inaitwa CD4. Na saa hizi hawapimi, wanapima virus. Virus zinaweza kuwa up to 1 billion kwa mwili yako. But ukiambiwa uko undetectable, that's unasema U is equals to U. U ni undetectable. When your virus is undetectable, that is 0. That does not mean that you are not HIV. They are there, but they are doomed.
Suppressed.
They are suppressed by the virus. And
Untransmittable?
Untransmittable, that means, but don't get me wrong, U is equals to undetectable. That means like when I am suppressed, I can no longer give you HIV. But however, my HIV, it is not your HIV. People misinterpret these things. You can be carrying HIV-1 and can be carrying HIV-2. So you see these are different things. And I'm undetectable, you are. So let's always keep a safe sex using a condom.
So this means that when I'm undetectable and you are, it doesn't mean that we should probably have unprotected sex.
Exactly.
All right. And how about if I'm negative and you're positive, but you're still undetectable? For a couple, I'm looking at this for couples, those that are married, like they're living as husband and wife.
For people, they are called discordant couples. For kind of people, there is PEP. They take PEP, like ARVs, each and every day they have an intercourse.
So this one is for the partner that is negative and for the partner that is positive.
Exactly.
All right.
If you are not comfortable with using condom, there is a drug you take for the rest of your life, like any other person that is using ARVs to protect yourself from getting in touch with HIV. Yes.
Okay. Now, just looking at ARVs, there is ARTs. Are they the same thing, or now for the drugs, for these particular drugs, is it different for someone? For example, I've just been diagnosed with HIV today, and you've been with it for from 2002. The drugs that you'll be taking, are they similar to me who has just been diagnosed with?
So ARTs is antiretroviral drugs, and ARVs are the drugs. So I think it's just a name.
Okay.
There is no difference in that. Yes.
Okay. Now let us just talk of this particular day where the Minister of Health, they'll definitely give a statement. They'll be having an event probably that they've organized. The World Health Organization will also be sharing the same. What would you say are some of the steps that Kenya has made as a country as far as HIV is concerned?
First of all, I just want to thank government, because even if there was a crisis on ARVs shortage, we still managed to get the little that was there. Now still we went back to streets as an advocate, and they still brought back. We thank that for government for always putting us like the first priorities for making us that we have what will keep us going each and every day. Yes.
So you'll say the step has to do with drugs, or in terms of a treatment, you'll put it like that. And what are some of the things that the government should probably just pull up their socks kidogo just to in the fight against HIV?
What they should do.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to just as myself as a young advocate, to urge the government to take back the education, sex education in schools. Those people need to be educated. They need to know what is HIV, and let them consider HIV as a priority even to their lives. They can be not infected, but they can be affected. So secondly, government, there is shortage of condoms in facilities. We could urge you to reduce our taxes so that we can get back free condoms, because you find not everyone will go to a chemist or to a shop to buy a condom, because the life itself is high. People want to do sex, so I could urge you to consider us by reducing the taxes on condoms. Yes.
And now just we've looked at what the government can do. Just looking at the new infections. I mean, out of the numbers that were recorded by the government, that is in 2021, quite a number of them were adolescents. And right now they are at home. Still, there is an increase of teenage pregnancies. What would you say parents can do right now, especially during this very long period, and not just parents, but caregivers and the society at large? What can they do so that when the statistics that is for 2022 come out, we are not having greater numbers as far as HIV and new infections are concerned?
For that, I can add, like, children are at home. Parents, most of parents, they hide these things from their kids. When they see a girl talking with a boy, they start fighting. And they don't tell the girl the reason or the boy the reason. Why am I beating you for that? So unapata to an extent, ninachapua kitu yenye sijui. Na unaambiwa nisirudi kukuona na Njoroge ama na Kamau. Ama nisirudi kukuona na Wanjiro. Simply because hajamwambia ni kwa nini anataka asimwone naye. So atafanya jukumu juu chini, atajificha na lazima wataonana. It's like this thing says, like I'm eating, nakula machungwa, na kuambia ni kali. Lazima pia utataka kuonja usikie ukali wa hiyo machungwa. You see, tunapendanga ku experience, yani kufanya ndio tuelewe ni kwa nini nakata zangu. Acha nijaribu. Wazazi, wacha tuweke watoto wetu wazi. Usimwambie asishike kasusu ya mtoto, mwambie venye inafaa kuitwa. Usimwambie asitolee mtu nguo mbele yake, mwambie ni kwa nini. Ndio aweze kuelewa. Tutakuwa tunawaambia wasifanye, lakini watakuwa wakifanya wakitaka kujua ni kwa nini tunaambiwa tusifanye. They need to experiment. Children are very clever than we never thought. Yes.
So it's just a matter of calling a spoon a spoon. Kwa nini utaki nifanye hivi? Kwa sababu utapata blah 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 and sad things. Any other thing that you'll want to add?
And wacha watoto wenyu, they be close to God. Wacha waende church Sundays, hata kama wewe hawendi. Give them sadaka. Na umpe pesa ya ice, itamtoa kwa nyumba, kwa sababu kila kitu lazima uivurute na uilete karibu. If you don't bring them close to God, some things we mzazi hawezi fanya, but when they go to Sunday school, watafundishwa. So let's tugawane kazi na to engage pia watoto wetu kwa another platforms za kanisa. Tukiangalianga tu health, bado tuweke God mbele kwa kila kitu. Yes.
Okay, great. But let me just ask this one thing. The theme of World AIDS Day this year is equalize. Unaweza sema nini just about probably equalizing the rights, or just considering kuna wale, we have these special groups. We have children, we have homosexuals, we have intergenders. What can you say as far as the theme is concerned for this year's World AIDS Day?
For equalize, like unaona, since this epidemic came, corona, these people forgot people living with HIV, people living with different disabilities, orphans. Yani everything was set aside, and they focused on this other side. So I could just ask and urge, like, let equalize everything. When you are focusing on corona, not forget people living with HIV, because you can see a person living with HIV can be a person with disability, can be a person with HIV, can be a person with other opportunistic diseases. Let equalize them, put them together, focus them, and treat them equally. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much, Stella, for that. Thank you for helping us creating awareness, as well as just sharing your story, even as we mark our World AIDS Day. So that was Stella Nyambura, a person living with HIV, as well as an advocate of HIV awareness. Earlier on, we were just looking at our numbers, and Stella has put it quite right. That is in terms of just creating awareness, that is for teenagers and adolescents, boys and girls, as far as the new HIV infections is concerned. Let us just look at the HIV statistics once again, if we can get those numbers right there. That is the HIV statistics as of 2021, as far as the National AIDS Control Council is concerned. And we have it right there. That is Kenya's HIV statistics as of 2021. Now, the National AIDS Control Council reports that 1,435,271 people that is currently in Kenya live with HIV. 32,027 new infections occurred in the year 2021, that is in Kenya. And out of the 32,027, 5,294 were among adolescents aged 10 to 19 years. And Stella has just shared with us what can be done. And now more than 1.2 million people are currently on ART. Those are drugs to help suppress the virus. And 19,486 deaths were also recorded, that is over 2021 and definitely before 2021. And as the world marks World AIDS Day, as I mentioned earlier on, the World Health Organization will be joining with a few other stakeholders, that is activists, people like Stella Nyambura right here, who will just continue creating awareness about HIV and AIDS. She's just mentioned of how important it is to just get to know of your status. Why don't you use this particular day to just test yourself to know whether you are positive or negative? And as she puts it very right, that your HIV status, whether positive or negative, it's actually not the end, but more positive. Just speaking of that, we were also able to look at other statistics, that is to do with the 90 progress that is in Kenya. If we can also get that from studio, let us just look at how Kenya is doing as far as the 90 progress is concerned. So if we can just get that, you can see it right there on your screens. So those are the numbers right there, as you can see on your screen. So 90% are aware of their HIV status, 82% on HIV treatment, and 92% are virally suppressed, which actually indicates 68% of all people living with HIV in Kenya. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you've been able to learn from us with the help of Stella Nyambura right here. So we'll be taking a very short break. We'll definitely come back with more right here on the KAK Mid Morning Show.